day fam. Welcome to MDCR. It's another beautiful day with MDCR. Alright, and thanks for watching my previous video. I really appreciate. So what I'll be doing particularly on this video is how to make use of impact. One, creating your beat from scratch is what I'm doing right now. So as I've promised in the previous video, I'll be making a video on how to use Studio One as a new Studio One user. But as it is right now, I just want us to like follow up. I would just be detailed about whatever features I use on Studio One, so not just to make the video as long as trust me, if you watch this you are going to really know how to make use of Studio One. I believe that. So let's ride on. All right, first thing on my Studio One, as we all know, as a new Studio One user, I've already introduced some of these features on the interface here. So I won't do much, just like let me just do a recap. So let's just do a recap of all of this. So we have the file view, we have the Studio One help, new, open, join, and these are my recent files. So if I want to go deep in more of my files, maybe files I've done years ago, I will see that on the song, and which is 2 months. So, and the sweet thing about Studio One, I'm using Studio One 6.0, and the sweet thing about 6.0 is it's created a folder for you where you can easily just check your project. So you don't need to keep going to open file and start searching for your projects you don't even remember the name. So you can only just, it is very easy. You can just see from here. I have my old project here, which is in folder. The folder of the project is there easily, so I can just see them. This is this 2 months ago, this other project too 2 months ago. So very easy and simple. Another thing is you can also customize your Studio One just the way you want it. Like as you can see on my board here, I have my mix board here where I went to work in the studio. I have the picture here as my logo here, and if you're an artist as well, you can also put in your artwork. You can rename, you can put your name here, the genre of your music, add it here. Then your website, you can add your website to here as well. I don't have a website yet, so I can't put that. And we have configure audio device, check for updates if you want to update. I'm not connected to the internet right now, so you see some of the updates here too as well on Studio One, on how to use Studio One as well. So right straight to the point, we are creating a new beat, and all you just have to do is we come to the new button right here. So this is a plus button. You just click on this new, and it takes us down to where we have to start renaming. It's down to this place. We have the template, we have the user, and for the template we have a lot of templates to be used, and you can also create your own template. That is where we have user here. So if you check, I don't have any templates because I'm not a fan of creating templates. So but now I'm not making use of any of this. I'll just have to come down to record and mix, and here I have where I can name my file, how to use impact. So, and another thing is I have my location folder here. Let's save my project. These are all of the projects I have. The next thing I have here is settings, which will make me to configure my project I want to start on. So but I have sample rate, resolution, time base, and length, but I won't be dealing with that right now. And decide to change your folder, you can tamper with that, but every other thing don't tamper with it as a new user. So press OK and we are good to go. So we have our timeline here already, so we are ready to create the beat now from scratch. So we have the, just like I also explained in my previous video, we this is the track scene where you can get your inspector. This is your inspector, you have them here. This is your track list, your inspector settings, automation, and all. Then you have here your browser where you can choose your instrument, effects, loops, files, and all. Then if you are computer science and you know how to use some of these publishing softwares, some of these things are very easy for you. So you have similar stuff here. We have the toolbar here, pick tool, let me just use that word, pick tool as a CorelDRAW user. We have marquee tool, we have the slice tool, we have eraser, your paint tool. Now here you have audio. This is because this is audio production. You have this is mute, so you mute your audio. You have your audio blend, your blend tool. You have to listing tool as well. So we're very much detailed about whatever I'm using right now, so you can also understand what I'm doing here. So now the next thing for us to do now is we are creating the beats. And as a new Studio One user or as a new music producer, what's the first thing you need to know how to do? You need to just, okay, I have this idea in my head as a music producer, as a beat maker. I want to make the beat, I want to start the beat. What's the first thing? Maybe if it is percussion that comes to your head or piano line, you can always, first thing you need to do is just drag in, you keep dragging in whatever you want to use, your tool, your plugins, either tone generators, either samplers or any other stuff. You drag it in. So now, but first thing first, I have to make use of my ruler. I have it up here. I have my ruler up here. So this is my timeline. I have my grid. As you can see, this is my grid on my timeline. So which enables me to like measure my beats. So musicality is like a measure, like your bar line, I call it bar line. So we can have 1 2 3 4. This is one bar, like that. So I just have one. This is 1 2 3 4 1 1 2 3 4 1 1 2 3 4 1 1 2 3 4 1. This is one bar on its own, or I can say 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bars. So now the thing is, I have my ruler here, so I can always come click, or better still, come click on your paint tool. Just click on the paint tool here, so it will enable you to drag and align your bar, whatever bar you want to use. So the first thing as a as a beat maker is, I want to create a beat. First thing I need to know is, I need to know my loop bars. So how many loop bars am I creating? Is it 4 bar loop or 2 bar loop? Is it 3 bar loop, 5 bar loop? So what loop means is just, repetitive. I'm not explaining music here. So but for now I'll just create 5 bar loop. Like I said, what I just did now is I zoomed in, I time zoomed in. So you can check that on my previous video if you don't know what I just did, but I'm using the shortcut. So I have all my grid in the way I want it. So this is 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar and 4 bar. To complete the 4, you drag it up to 5. So I'm dragging this to like 5. But now it's not activated yet. So all I just have to do is I have to come down to my loop active. These other features that we are seeing here. So we have many other features: metronome, the settings of the metronome, your time base, budding, loop. So but all I just want to do now is I want to loop, because I already mentioned some of these features in the previous video. So all I just have to do is I click on this loop. Once I click on loop, what I've already created here, let me drag it again. So I'll just have to click on loop. So I have it looped here already. So I can just play. So I can just play right now, and it keep repeating itself, but I don't have anything yet. So the next thing is, as a new music producer or new beat maker, all you have to do is always make sure your metronome is turned on. And to turn on my metronome on Studio One, I have to just come down to my metronome here. I also have the shortcut C, but I'm not making use of the shortcut. I just have to turn on it from here. Alright, so it will keep putting me on time. So to keep putting me on time, 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. The next thing I'll be doing now is I've created my loop already. So next thing is, what's the next thing coming to my head? Okay, I want to make the beat, so in which is gonna make me drag in my sampler. It's gonna make me drag in my sampler. And how do I do that on my Studio One? I just have to come to my browser. You have instruments plugin, every tone generators you get to see them on your browser here. So if you don't have any, if you are a new Studio One user, or if you are new to to production and you don't have any software on your system, on your laptop, you won't see anything here. The only thing you just get to see is your personas, because Studio One already have a stock plugins for us that we can even use without any third party plugins. We can use them to make beat as well. So what I'll be using now is my impact. I'll be using impact. So I want to impact your life. Let me impact your life. All right. All I just have to do is drag. That's what I just love doing. But there are other ways to it. Other ways to creating a track, which you just have to come to. I have to come to my plus button here, click on it, and I get to see my track. So whatever track am I creating, audio track is either I want to record a live, is either I want to record a live instrument or record the vocals. That's when you need to use audio. But for the instrument, now I'm creating instrument track because I want to use instrument. So what am I using? Let me just name it drum. Yes, my drum kit. And the next thing, how many drum kits down to create? All I just need is one impact, so I can pack in all of my. It's just like if you have a sampler, like a real sampler, you can just have to do dragging your impact and assign all your samples on it. Then you can use it on your live. If you are doing a live show, you can use it on a live show and everything will be effective. So I love colors, so let me just, yes, let me put on it purple. Yeah, so your input, the input you are seeing here now is telling you, okay, what MIDI are you using? Are you using a sampler? Are you using a MIDI keyboard? Which of it are you using? You get to see them here, and you can always assign it, but always leave it at default. So since you are new to it, or you can't find your way around to the one, just leave it at default. And what's the next thing I want to do now? I'll be coming to my output is what what instrument am I using? I'm using my impact, Studio One impact. So I can always come to this option here, and next thing is, sorry, I'm not using ample guitar, I'm using impact. So click on impact and boom, press OK. You are good to go. It's create another track for me. So you get to see that track. It's going to create another track for me, as you can see it here. So the first option is, the first trick is I drag and drop my impact, but it is not renamed. I can always come here, double click on it and rename it as well. So I renamed it. I renamed my instrument. The next option is I drag in I come from add tools, add track, and add whatever track I want to add. So let me just remove this one because I'll be making use of only one impact, my pick tool. Yes, because I'm not making use of my pencil tool again. So let me delete this. So let me open the impacts. I'll be opening the impacts. Okay, yeah, all right. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be adding my samples here to my impacts. I'll be adding samples to my impacts, and as you can see on the impact here, we have different pad on it. Like we have like 4 each, 4 like that, and we have as much as possible from A to H. How many samples you want to use? That you can, once this pad is full, you can go to the next one, add another pad and get used to it, like use them. So but for this, making use of like 4 samples in creating the afrobeats. So like I said, we'll be doing this from scratch. So well, I love colors, and I just need to let me change this color. I love it. Let me just change the color. Oh yeah, this is kind of bright, and no, I don't like this. I don't like this. Okay, yeah, I love white. So yes, and I have C1. You can get to see this is C1. The first part you are seeing here is C1. As I'm playing it on my MIDI piano, it's also affecting. If you have a sampler too as well, once you click on it, it's going to be like affecting this. It's going to be playing on this as well. So I have C1, C sharp, D1, D sharp, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. So alphabetically. So what I need to do now is, the next thing I need to do is add sample. And what's the first sample I'll be adding? I have to come to file. From here, from this place, I can come to file, or rather still come to file from here. It's still the same thing. So I click on file, then I get to see all of my plugins. I get to see all of my samples rather. So I can also search. If you know the particular samples you want to use, you can just, if you have as many as samples and you know by their names, you know them what you want to use, you can search. You can come to search button here and search. So but for me, let me just go straight to using I have this my favorite samples I use. So let me just come to Jep2. So from Jep2, I'll be picking my kick first, depending on what vibe comes to your head. So it might not really be kicks, it might just be rim shots. Okay, I love this kick. So all I just have to do is the drag. I drag that kick to my sampler. I drag this, click on it, drag to my sampler. Like on Studio One, you can get to listen to your samples too as well. You can listen to them as loop or one shot. So this particular samples I'm using is a one shot sample. One shot sample is just to sound once. The loop is a repetitive. So now I can always come down to these options here to click loop, and this metronome here now is going to affect, it's going to play as whatever tempo I set the beat I want to use, whatever tempo I set it to. Once I click on it, let me just double click on it, so I have it pa 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 like that. So I can always stop, I can always play back. So but you can click your tempo and rename it, reset it to whatever tempo you want it. Okay, for this video let me make it 110. Click 110. So I'll be making use of 110 for this beat. So now first I've already added my kick. The next thing I want to add is my rim shots. For this video I'll only pick whatever rim shots comes, whatever samples comes, not to make the video long. I can't keep selecting, but you know whatever you want to use as a music producer, choosing the right samples to also matters in your production. So let me just click on, but for now let me just do with what I have. I would drag it to my second. I'm dragging this to my second pad on my sampler. The next thing I'm adding is okay, hi-hat. Let me just go with hi-hat. I'm going with this 4 hi-hats. The next one is I just come to percussion. I need a bonga percussion. So okay, no, conga rather. So I'm making use of this conga. So now I've dragged everything down to my sampler. So once I play the first one, the second one, the third one, that's it. That's for that. And don't forget, we already create our tempo already and our time. So I have maybe, let me just, for example, okay, there's this this common rhythm in afrobeat, which is pa 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 pa. So it's very simple. So let me start with that. So now first thing I need to do is we are recording instantly, and I told you when you want to record, it's always best to set your count in, so which is your pre-count. So it's gonna count you in your, before you even play. So that's the sweet thing about Studio One. It will count you in before you play. So I'll be looping 5 bar. Another thing is, it's not compulsory you loop 5 bar. You can just, as you see, there's no rules to this thing. You can just decide to do whatever. You can just play as the spirit leads. Keep playing. So but for me, for the sake of this video, I'll just be looping. So I'll be creating. Okay, let's go. I want to record now. I'll be clicking on my record, clicking, it will count me in 4 3 2 1. So that's for that. I already click that. And next thing is I'm adding ayat. Ayat is doing the same thing too as well. So I record again, 1 2 3 4. So the next thing is I'm recording kunga. Let's go. 1 2 3 4. Oh, sorry. um I'm not making use of my record. I have my shortcut already, which is my asterisk on my keyboard. 2 3 go. So the next thing is I'm recording my kick. 2 3 go. Yeah, so I've recorded wherever I want to record. So the next thing now, you see, if you notice that every of my recordings are not being quantized, it is not on the, it is not on beat. So all I just have to do is you always double click on this particular track you've played, so you can always, it will come to the edit, or better still, on your interface you see your edit here. You have three options here. You have edit, mix and browse. For this, mix is for your mixer. For browse, if you want to check your browser. And your edit, now whatever I've played here now, I edit. So as you can see on my impact edit here, so I have my kick, I have my rim shot, I have hi-hat and conga. So I can decide to use I can also decide to use this piano roll, just like we have on FL Studio. We have the piano roll as well. We have the drums for in Studio One. This is the drum, and as a drummer, paradiddle drummer, you want to put that on your notes, musical notes, you can click on this. So you see that whatever I've played in musical notes, very sweet, sweetest thing in Studio One I've ever seen, and some other door upgrading, so you can get to see them, see whatever I've played in a musical note. I can also print it out as well, you know, as a lesson itself, or whoever is playing drums for the show, for your music show. So now I'll be going with only piano roll. So once I just I'll be going with piano, and I have everything here on my piano roll, whatever I've played. So let me time zoom it. I'm zooming in rather. So I'm zooming this in. So let me time zoom now. So you can see it's naming it as this hi-hat, kick and conga. My rim shot too as well. Oh, I've got to delete my kick roll. So there's something that just happened right now. I mistakenly deleted my kick, so we'll be recording that again. So let's go. 1 2 3 go. So I have everything now, but it's not quantized. So all I just have to do, I can just do one simple thing and to quantize everything the way I want it. So I highlight my track, everything, then I use the quantization button here. So follow quantize, click on it, and I have it quantized already. So as you can see that. But now another thing is, okay, yes, let me just do a swing quantization. And for you to do swing quantization on your Studio One, you can see on your quantization here, you get to see one. I'm using 116, So you have 116 swing, you have 60% swing, 100% swing, 40% swing, 20% swing, like that. But I won't be making use of this. You can, depends on how you want it. If you're a music producer, you're that producer that really know how to, you know what you want to do. You're just trying to find your way around Studio One. You know how to go about it. All you just have to do is nudge your samples maybe to a bit forward or a bit backward. Like I said in my previous video, it is, there is no rules to this thing. I don't believe in all this swing thing, but for the sake of this video, I will swing my, let me just use conga. So at least for those that love the swing. So now if you take a look at my conga now, it is on the grid. So for me to be able to swing it now, the reason why you are swinging is because probably, okay, to give that feel, like that afro feel, that like they do say that afro feel. So now to achieve this, all I just have to do is press my drag. I can just drag it. I love using shortcut, but I would love to drag this a little bit forward. Come in. Okay, so I'm dragging this a little bit forward. It is not going to be on my it's not going to be on my grid again, so because I've dragged it forward a little bit. So depending on, it now depends on what you want. So you can even bring it more forward a little bit as you want it. I don't know if you can take note of that. That's for the swingy producers that want to, but it is your feel. It is actually what you want. Me, I can decide to make my music robotic. I can decide to make a hair. It is whatever you want, you do. So that's just, for this. And the next thing to do is the other option. What I want to do now is, what the other option for me is drag and drop. That has been my best option in Studio One. The other techniques for me is drag and drop. I just drag my it might be really stressful for you now, but for me, I'm already used to the drag and drop, and it's always very fastest way for me to making my beats. So the first thing that I have to just do is what's the kick? The kick I used is, oh no, I'm going to my rim shot first. So the rim shot I'm using is, so all I just have to do is I increase my timeline here. So I have pa 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 pa. So I'm going to click, so pa pa. So I know where my next one is. I'll just click on it. I'm dragging. I press my Alt button and I drop. So let me zoom this so you can all see what I'm doing well. So that's pa pa pa. So I know the next Alt button and I drop. Or better still, you can duplicate by pressing D. You duplicate and you drag. So the next one is pa 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 pa. Okay, the next is gonna come forward. Pa pa pa. Okay, still forward. As a new user, if you love this, you can keep using this pattern, these techniques. If it is first techniques you are used to, just like on FL Studio, you have the pattern already. All you just have to do is click on this pattern. It's just like a game, so click on it and you're good to go. So but for me, I love stress. So the next one, I know the next one is coming down to, let me just click on duplicate and I drag it down to this place and I'm good to go. Pa 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 pa. So all I just have to do is highlight this, and sweet thing about afrobeat is duplicating. Pa 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 pa, like that. So the next thing for me is I'm bringing my hi-hat too as well to do the same thing. I'm bringing hi-hat to do the same thing. Where's my hat? Alright, the hi-hat I choose was hi-hat 4. using the same pattern with my hi-hats. So click the first one, duplicate. So I have very simple. Yes. So now the next thing is I'm using the conga as well. I'm just using the conga. Let's conga. Pa boom boom. That's what I did. Boom boom. So the next boom is coming to this line. Let's go. Boom. Okay. Boom. 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 So I can just duplicate this as well. Boom. 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 So that's just for that. And the next thing is my kick. I should also drag my kick. This kick, so you can drop this here. So let's go. So dragging this. Let's go again. So the next thing I'm doing now is so sorry, I have a lot of kids around me. My compound just making noise. Alright, so you can also decide to, well, depend on what you, as a new producer, as a new beat maker, if you have a loop shaker you can use. If you decide to, or even as you know, some producers do, they don't really even make use of loop shakers. They can like do that manually using their own hands to do that. But for now, I'm not. For the sake of this video, I won't do that. So let me just look for shakers that I love. So let me make use of these African shakers. My afrobeat is done already. But that's just the basic, simple thing about this afrobeat. Okay. So simple thing is that is just all about. This is my other pattern. You can see the same thing if I'm going to solo the one I use impact on. So and solo this is my impact, different pattern though. Okay. That's different pattern though. So but the other pattern which I just drag and drop, which is the drag and drop pattern I love using, this is just it, simple. The next thing I'll be doing now is adding my piano. I love piano, using the piano. So I have my piano here already, so I'm using the lounge piano. So I'm using lounge piano. So I'm using lounge piano for my. Alright, so you can see that's too much, bro. I think this is too much. Let me just reduce. I don't know, any reading that comes to your head, you can actually play. So let's play the beats. No, okay. Okay, let's just. Alright, so let me just know what to do. Just record. It will count me in before I play. So next thing is I'm just recording 1 1, 2, 3, go. So that's just the sweet thing about Studio One. We don't Afrobeat done already. So I can decide to quantize, do my normal quantization, and I can decide to, for this piano now, there's the way I played it. So if this normal quantization is giving me what I want, I will do it. But if it is not, I have to manually quantize as well. I think I'm good with this. Alright, so other features I said I'm going to mention is, for this particular first feature we are having here, it enables you to drag, to do whatever I want to do, extend, drag in. The next feature is like a range tool here, so it enables you to like highlight particular portion and decide to delete, or if you don't want to delete, or it enables you to highlight a new track and you just double click on it to create that. No, not highlighting a new track, highlight a new space for you on your. The reason for me using this guy is, if I notice maybe my bar is not complete and I need more stuff, I can just use my macro tool to bring this up and like extend it to, maybe I want to extend it to like 6 now. I can just use my market to drag it like this, make sure it's get to 6, and I double click on it and it has extended my track for me, extended my track bar for me. So the bar has extended it already. So the next thing for me, this is like splitting tool. We all know what split does. So I can decide to split this particular line, click on it, it will split it for me. So the next thing is my eraser tool. All know what eraser does now. So cleaner, go cleaner for you. Then this particular paint tool, I might not really mention all of these things now, but let's just, this is just what most of this stuff does. Like, I can vibe to this already. I don't know how to sing, but thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you love, thank you for watching this video. If you actually love it, please subscribe, please like, please share, and you can also drop ideas, suggestion on the comment section below. You can also, if there's any question you want, probably there's any question you feel like you don't understand anything, you can always drop on the comment section, or reach out to me on my DM, or just reach out to me on my email rather. Reach out to me on my email, I'll respond to you. And but for now, peace out.